Hi, everybody, and welcome to another LinkedIn Live with Gardenuity. And I could not be more excited to introduce you to someone who's become a friend of mine, Diane Paddison. This is going to be a really exciting conversation about bringing workplace wellness through faith-driven opportunities to leaders and to teams. Actually, she's working globally right now. But we're going to have a great conversation. And Diane, welcome.
Thank you. It is such a pleasure to get to do this, and we're going to have so much fun.
I know I always leave visits with you inspired. So I want other people to get to know you a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, I'm a little farm girl from Oregon who, because of some mentors in my life, applied to Harvard Business School and got in. I really had no clue what I was doing. And went to work after Harvard Business School with a Fortune 1000 company, Trammell Crow, and who was bought by a Fortune 500 CBRE, and also with ProLogis, who's a Fortune 500. And I was the only woman in the global executive teams of all three companies. And my passion was always to help women reach their God-given potential. And I thought, I need to be a part of changing this.
Yeah.
So when I thought about, well, what is God calling me to do at this point in time in my life? And I told my husband, I've got 3 more years in the corporate world. And I was really passionate about helping women reach their God-given potential and be in community with other women like them, because that's really the second reason, because I had a community of 5 when I was in my 40s. And I just know how crazy life is when you're trying to have, dual career, children, professional, keep your faith as your foundation. And I thought, I wonder if I'm the only woman that feels this way. So I looked at the census data and I thought, I don't think I am, because college degrees had gone in my lifetime to women from 6% to 58%. Today, 58% of college degrees go to women. The percent of women who are primary breadwinners had gone from 11 to 44%. And the percent of women in the workplace that had children under 18 had gone from 47% to 75%.
Right.
And I thought, okay, I'm not the only one that feels this way. The data is saying it. And so I had a mentor. His name was Bob Buford, and I told him about the data and my passion. And he said, I know you can build organizations because you've been a COO for your career, but you need to write a book. And I told Bob that will be a miracle because I hate to write. But so the book, Work, Love, Pray, is a miracle. He introduced me to an editor and a ghostwriter. And today, we launched forward with the website, the book, and the first community group, which was in Portland, Oregon. And to God be the glory. Today, we have 4 million women who've been
4
touched.
million women. That's amazing. So this book came out in 2011, and it was titled Work, Love, Pray.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to write it today, what order would you put those 3 words in?
Yeah, and the reason we didn't put pray first was because it would get lost in the spiritual section of bookstores or Amazon. But we knew if we put it in work, that professional women would see the book. And that's the target audience for Forward. So I would do it in the same order.
I also love that so many men are supporting Forward. Maybe because they recognize the impact it makes on their teammates. And we're, one of the things we focus on at Gardenuity really is mental health and physical health, and really helping corporations bring healthy insights and practices to their team members. But you also have to think about spiritual health and financial health. And you guys bring collections of people together to help grow all those areas in your life. How did that come about?
Yeah. Well, I mentioned we started with one community group, And that was when I thought, okay, there really is a need for this. And in 2014, I actually stopped doing consulting and knew that God had really called me to lead forward. And so we have 33 community groups that operate around the world. We have 5 that are global, virtual, around STEM, around military, and overall. And we've had women from Madagascar, South Africa, et cetera, be a part of that group. And the key thing is they want to belong, right? They want to be in a community. And it's what you were talking about. It's a part of their mental health, right? To have a place where they belong and be connected amongst women who have similar desires and similar beliefs, that they can really go deep and it's not superficial.
And you have groups and organizations like Salesforce and Toyota. And so how does that process work? If I'm a leader at a big company and I want to really put together a forward group, how does that process work?
Yeah, great question. So I'm going to give you the website so you can email hello@4 wordwomen.org.
Okay.
And that will go to amazing Brenna, who will get it to the right person. And we have, a process all set up, and it's not hard. We actually have some women here listening that are a part of starting a community group. And so we try to do everything as an organization to take all the administrative work off our leaders and really have the focus be building relationships and figuring out when can we get together and where, et cetera, which I'm so excited that Gardenuity is hosting our forward gathering on the 12th. So please go to our website and sign up. Today's the last day to do it virtually, but you can sign up and be in person through next Thursday. But it's going to be a lot of fun to be able to be a part of the amazing organization that you've built in serving people in the mental health area.
Well, we live in a time that it is hard. I mean, I think when I recognize and have had the opportunity to work with some extraordinary leaders, and I think about what they're doing for their workforce, it's mind-blowing how they're really considering all the different people, the realities of how we live, work, and play today, and creating micro steps to bring healthy habits to their team members. So I'm going to ask you kind of a crazy question. How do you define faith?
I define faith as a belief in a power that's much bigger than us.
Right.
And there are many faiths in the world, and the key, my faith is Christian, and the key thing for all of us is to really believe in something that's bigger than ourselves and to treat everybody with love and respect.
And how does belonging play into your mental health? Because I think that's critical. I mean, if I could figure out how to help people grow confidence, which studies have shown gardening actually helps you grow confidence and nurture your confidence, but how does belonging play into your overall mental health?
Well, I'll tell you, even for me personally, having the chance to be here right now with you, and for you to say the kind things you said about me, that builds my confidence to feel really good about hopefully being a light to all the other people that I come in contact with today. And I think if we can all be that person that is all about what can I do to make someone else's day be better, wouldn't our world be different?
Yeah, that's true. And have you noticed a change in how you work with leaders after the pandemic, with so many teams being remote, not always together? Have you changed how you approach this overall well-being aspect?
Well, it's really interesting because I mentioned we have this global virtual group. I think people have actually, moved to becoming very comfortable,
Right.
even building relationships virtually. I mean, there's some people that I've met and that we say, oh gosh, we met each other over Zoom 5 years ago and we're finally meeting in person.
Right.
Of course, there's nothing like sitting next to you right
Right.
now than being on Zoom. But there's a lot of community that can be built even virtually.
Well, I feel like, so if a leader has a forward group within their organization, and I know what the one at Salesforce is, it's massive. I think it's called Faith Force. You shared with me.
Yeah.
They come together virtually, and that then when they meet somebody, it kind of, their relationship has already started, right? Because they have an underlying connection, which I think is so much a part of belonging.
Right. Yeah, it is amazing. Actually, I was at a meeting yesterday, and 20% of the Fortune 100 companies have Christian employee resource groups or interfaith groups.
Okay.
And I think companies have realized that when we bring people together in community with people that share common beliefs, that the loyalty, it's really a triple bottom line. The loyalty of the employees increases. The company, grows, and they don't have the turnover. And then, which of course, the corporations have to think about the bottom line. It also grows the bottom line.
Which is one of the things I love about you. You have been data focused. You brought data into the entire organization and into your thought process. So you can honestly say when you feel like you belong to a group of your peers and have a reason to share with them, it increases your longevity with the company, reduces turnover for the company, thus that impacts the bottom line. That's real wellness, because you're looking at the company's financial wellness as well as the wellness of the individuals who make up the company. And I love that.
Yeah.
So another tangent. Your mother was one of 13.
Yes, good memory.
Crazy. And her saying to you was just go for it.
Yeah, when people ask me, where did you get this confidence? I say, really, it's my mom and dad. My mom told me every day, you can be president of the United States if you want to be. And what she was trying to say to me was, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
You just need to decide and go for it. My dad did it differently. We had a family business, and in the summer, it was a fruit and vegetable farm. And in the summer, we'd have up to 120 employees. And at 16 years old, he had me overseeing crews of 50 people. And,
wow.
They would be, from 16 to 80. I mean, I had someone overdose on their ladder once, so I had to learn how to make sure that that person was safe. And I think the confidence grew by experience, that my dad put me in situations that a normal 16-year-old today probably isn't put in. So I'm just really blessed to have the mom and dad that I did, and they both had a very strong faith.
See, I think what I'm hearing is, and people come to us because they're adding to or creating a workplace wellness curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
And gardening is part of that. It's been noted that it is actually part of mental health and nutritional health benefits. But I think what you're bringing is this confidence and this sense of belonging that actually plays into mental health and all the other aspects of what makes us healthy. So if somebody, it doesn't cost necessarily to start a group, is that correct?
Right. You can be a part of the group, and there's no cost. We hope that because you're blessed, that you want to bless other women.
Yeah.
By donating.
Right. Okay. And so Forward is a nonprofit.
Right.
And you have offices, but you have leaders everywhere.
Yes, we have like 300. So I'll just mention one other thing,
Sure.
which I think is a huge part of what we're blessed to be able to do. we have over 900 pairs of women who have been through our 10-week mentor program. And that's where I hear life-changing stories, because women are dealing with each other one-on-one. Of course, God is in it. Trina, who's our manager of the mentor program, pairs these women, and there's always stories about how did she know this?
Right.
We know the divine was in the middle of it. And so it's not only through these community groups, but it's through these mentor relationships that are really life-changing, and which is a huge part of mental health.
It is a huge part, and I think that we are in a time that we live digitally.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on in our country with uncertainties, and I think to find your tribe, so to speak, people who can help you, good times, bad times, I think is so important to the overall health. So is there a demographic profile? I mean, are they primarily of a certain age group, or are you across the board?
Yeah, great question. So, because we want our women to really be able to relate to each other, we say we'd love for you to have a college degree, and we would love for you to have been in the workplace at some point in your life.
Okay.
But we have from women that have just graduated to some of our mentors are in their 80s, and they're unbelievable. I mean, they're some of our most amazing mentors, because they have time and capacity to be able to share this wisdom that they've grown over the years. So it's really amazing.
And is there a similar group for men in the world?
I get this question all
You
the
do?
time. There's actually a group called the New Canaan Society. And so whenever I can, they don't have a mentor program, but they do meet in community in a lot of major cities. So I actually, refer people to the New Canaan Society a lot.
You know what? I think that there's been studies that at multifamily complexes, if you know your neighbors, you stay longer. It's not that you love the apartment, it's that you love the community you've built. And I can't help but think that organizations who are embracing the entire health of the people who drive their company is impacting every aspect of the business. And so you have created these communities, but people who, you don't have to just be in one denomination to be part of this, right?
Right. We want all to come.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And you're making an impact on overall wellness. And, I love that you have given confidence and a sense of belonging and actual practical advice to leaders on how to lead. Because leading today is, you and I are of the same generation, it's different than it was when we started out. I mean, there's a lot more political challenges and what you can say and what you can't say. And health is different. But what I love, absolutely, is that leaders are actually looking at the whole human health. And there was a study just done, I don't know if you've seen it, by Marsh MMA, that talks about the number 2 priority for workplace is the focus on whole human health. And they even talked about for every dollar invested in whole human health per employee, you save 2 to 4 in insurance claims. And what you're doing is approaching whole human health through a very interesting vertical. So what's next for Forward?
Well, we just keep seeing what God brings to us. And I want to say one thing before I move to that, is that what you're doing, Donna, with having gardening be a part of people's lives. I refer Donna to all my friends out there.
You do.
Toyota has an amazing Christian fellowship of 800 people at their Plano location, and then at every plant. And so Donna just met with one of my friends there, because I believe what you're doing is having a huge impact also. And I actually was with a Forward woman last night. I told her about the event on the 12th, and she said, "Oh, I love need. And during COVID, I was going crazy. I hate that I'm out of town. So, you know, what you're doing is having
I
a
think it comes
huge,
together.
having a
Yeah.
huge impact.
And I think that what I hope is that your mission continues to grow, and that your mentorship continues to thrive. But more importantly, I hope people listening today will take the idea that they too can make an impact on their organization, and there are people who are there to support them, whatever it is that they're trying to bring as a community and fellowship to their peers and to their colleagues. And you make that so easy. I'm so glad you listened to your mentor and followed your gut. That's a big change.
Well, thank you. I mean, I really feel blessed when I look back and think of, you know, just that time. As you know, doing a startup isn't easy, right? and there were days when tears came to my eyes. I'm like, is this going to work?
Right.
You know, but I just kept trusting God. I had friends that said, keep going. And, you know, today to look and see what God has done with it has been amazing. So we have an amazing leader in Melissa Harrison and a great leadership team, 200 plus mentors, over 100 community group leaders. Just, you know, when you have the right leaders, you know that it's going to go well. So leaders are.
You have another book in the making?
I don't have another, but you know why? And you said something about this just a second ago. So I just endorsed a book for a woman who's unbelievable. I don't think I can tell you about her book yet, but it's all about the new skills that leaders need to have. And what it's really about is the fruits of the Spirit.
Yeah.
About love, patience, kindness, and how leaders learning to lead like that is a part of the future and today of leadership that will have a huge impact.
Right, I totally agree. So if there's somebody listening right now who really does, let's remind them how they could get to know your organization a little bit better so that they could create a conversation amongst their colleagues and peers. Who do they go to? What's the email address?
So the email is hello@4wordwomen.org, or just go to 4wordwomen.org to our website, and you'll see the digital content, the community groups, and the mentor program, and our other resources there, and it's all there.
Well, thank you for inspiring me. I love the takeaways, and I love that it's totally based on data. I mean, that matters to me. And so these connections and these conversations matters. And I personally can't imagine getting through a day without faith, or certainly starting a business, because some days that's what you need. But thank you for sharing your wisdom with me and with those who are watching.
Well, thank you. And it's really all about the women. You know, we have stories all the time that come in. If it wasn't for Cynthia and Hope and Nicole, I couldn't have got through this horrible time. Or I couldn't have been celebrated through this good time. So it's really all about each one.
Right. Well, thank you. And thanks, everybody. And please feel free to reach out and get to know Forward and Diane a little bit better, and share with us how you're bringing wellness ideas to your workplace. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Donna.